But I believe that by overwhelming majority, you and I, in the long run, and if it be necessary, you and I will act together to protect, to defend, by every means at our command.
Why does Lucifer get mixed up with the devil? Is it all down to a mistranslation, or was it done to hide the true origins? This is Lucifer by Paul Fryer. It's situated in the Holy Trinity Church, Westminster. Old English Lucifer, from Latin light bringer, bringing, morning star from lux, lux, meaning light, and fur, bearing, Lucifer. It also refers to the rise and disappearance of the morning star, which is Venus, and it's in the phase, O lightbringer, son of the dawn. Hillel Ben Shara, translated as Lucifer in the Vulgate and preserved in the early English translations of the Bible. So the mistranslation led to Lucifer being mislabeled as Satan or the devil. Now I want to highlight this because it's in regard to the video. Look at the eyes, they're taken out, they're blackened. That's a hint to what the video is all about. Now coming up is my old spell etymology video on my breakdown of the word Lucifer, and I believe they have hidden the true meaning of Lucifer. So let's start by breaking it down. And I'm just going to split it into two. I'm going to focus on Lu and then the cipher later. So Lu comes from Latin illi, that, or from Old Latin ole, that again. Cognates include Italian lo, which is him, and il, the, and French li or le, the him, the and him. It's intriguing, isn't it? Now what is also funny is that it comes from Illum, now which isn't too far away from Ilium. Now if you remember my Sacred Connection video where I'm talking about the sacral area, do you remember when I showed you this? The ilium is the wings on the pelvic area, and in the middle, if you highlight it and make it red, it strangely looks like a devil type of figure. And I just went wow when I saw ilium. I thought, wow, that's only an eye away, of ilium and illum. Strange the coincidence that you find. I'm not saying it is this, but I just couldn't pass up not to remind you guys of this situation on the sacred connection. Now also, Lu is a prefix which forms diminutive nouns or describe something as evil, which is interesting as well. So could be evil him, evil it, you know, it's strange, isn't it? But if we look at it a little bit different, and instead of looking at the word Lu and actually just pronounce Lu, you know, phonetically, look elsewhere that we can find. So if we pronounce it this way, Lu, L-E-U, that's a Proto-Indo-European root meaning to loosen, divide or cut apart. That's wow, that, isn't it? Especially when you don't, you know, what I'm going to show you later on for the last part of Lucifer. It is mind-blowing, and it is the hypothetical source of evidence for its existence. It is provided by Sanskrit lunati, cuts off, or lavitram, sickle, Greek lion, to loosen, untie, slacken, or lysus, a loosening, Latin luere, to loose, release, stone, for excipates. So that's strange, to release. Strange, isn't it, when we're talking about obviously Lucifer and the devil and Satan. I know they're not the same, but from the tales that we've been told, it's intriguing, isn't it? Especially when you look at the last bits, Old Norse, louse, loose, free, and the last bit, Old English, Lucian, be lost, perish. Intriguing, especially when I'm going to talk about the last part of Lucifer now. So I was just ready to finish this last section on the Lu, and I remembered when you work and they give you time off, it's in lieu of. So Lu, in that sense, late 13th century, great vowel shift again, as part of a phrase in lieu of or in place, room of or instead of, from Old French lieu, place, position, situation, rank, from Latin locum, nominative locus, a place. So that's interesting to add to the list of what Lu could be. Alright, so it's now time to look at Cipher in Lucifer. Right guys, we're looking at the word Lucifer today, obviously, and we've looked at a few Lus. Now, yes, this is a spell etymology video and it's just my opinion, and I want to look at it differently. And when you look at the word differently, it opens up a big can of worms. Doesn't mean it's correct, it just means it's interesting if you look at things differently. Now that's why I'm looking at it a bit phonetically. So we looked at Lu. Now instead of Lucifer, we look at
Cipher.
Lucifer, because it is very much Cipher. It is, you know, you could pronounce it the same, but just look at what
Cipher
actually is. So let's start there. If people didn't know already, a secret or disguised way of writing a code. You like straight away, like your brain's going off, isn't it? Like me, when I looked at it differently, something written in a code. A key to a code. I'm not saying anything when I mention keys. A person of no importance, especially one who does the bidding of others and seems to have no will of their own. Sounds like what normally people call NPCs. Obviously, you know, I have my opinion that it's different, but you get what I'm saying. A monogram, and then obviously verb, third person, ciphers, etc. Put a message into secret writing in code. Archaic, do arithmetic. Origin, Arabic, Cipher 0, and I'll go into that a little bit in more detail in another description, and you can see why I'm intrigued. So obviously,
Cipher.
Another way to say it is a continuous sounding of an organ pipe caused by mechanical defects. Organ pipes, people talk about how the organs, especially in a cathedral, work. It's interesting when you look at something different, isn't it guys? And this has just got me wow when you look at Lucifer and actually pronounce it
Cipher.
Lucifer, because it's talking about codes, and it just blew me away guys. Right guys, so tell me it's not interesting now when you mention
Cipher
instead of Cipher and Lucifer. And obviously I've just quickly talked about a cipher is a secret code, usually one that's created using a mathematical algorithm. Sometimes the message written in code itself is called a cipher. I might eventually do like a standalone on this, because it's opening up, like I said, a big can of worms when you look at it differently, and in regard to mathematics, and obviously we're looking at Lucifer in the sense of lightbringer, and how he's associated with, like, Prometheus to bring knowledge. Knowledge is light, and it could be a form of a code. It's just intriguing, especially if you think about it. We're living in a simulation, or hooked up to a matrix type of thing, and we're talking about gaining information. It's just, my brain's going 10 to the dozen, as they say. So Cipher comes from the Arabic Sif or Sifra, which means nothing or zero. The word comes to Europe along with the Arabic numeral system, as early codes substituted numerals for letters to hide the world's meaning. Codes became known as ciphers. If you crack a cipher, you break the code and you can understand the message. From its zero meaning, cipher can also be used for a person who has no influence or importance in the world. Tell me, guys, you're not going wow, because I am. Yes, it's not the normal sense of etymology, and I know the spell etymology is just my interpretations of it anyway, but when you look at the word Lucifer and change it to Lucifer, and what I've just said about Lu already, now tie that together with Cipher, you can see why I'm excited, and like I said, it's opening up a big can of worms. So I'll just move down and see what these other place describes a cipher: a secret method of writing, a message written in secret code, convert ordinary language into code, a mathematical element that when added to another number yields the same number, a quantity of no importance, a person of no influence, make a mathematical calculation or computation, and there you go. So you can just see how it's interesting, and again, I think I might have to do like a standalone soon on this, or because I've got loads of ideas racing in my head. So just to round it up, what Lucifer could mean, in my opinion, is a replacement code, the hidden code, his code, the code that was cut, or the code, or the code. They're just interesting things, aren't they, when you start to look at it a little bit different. Lu, and then Cipher being a hidden code. Could there be something hidden in light, in information, in the matrix, or is it in regard to tech AI wise? Who knows? It's just interesting, isn't it? I mean, could it be source code? Is Lucifer a hacker, a program that taught humans how to connect to or hack source? Because obviously people will still think in different ways, and we don't all think the same, so I love to give people just a little bit different of an opinion. It's just an idea, isn't it? Lucifer being a hacker or a program that taught humans how to connect to source, like Prometheus. Is this why Lucifer is associated with to evil, because they made it that way? Is it part of a plan to hide the code, the information, the light from people they deem don't matter? So I want to revisit this etymology a little bit. You've seen what I've mentioned so far, and I did the original video about a year ago, so I want to go back to the word Lu, because I found more connections. So Lu, late 13th century, usually as part of the phrase in lieu of, meaning in the place of, or room, or the stead, or from Old French lieu, place. So the place where we all see and live in, position, situation, rank, from Latin locum, nominative locus, a place. So it's this place, what we see. And I want to emphasize more on this because this has blew my mind. Doesn't take much, it seems, but hey. So Sif from Lucifer. Sif means chief, primary, but also if you say Sif, Sif is a goddess of wheat and the earth. Now I want to carry on with this. From Old Norse, from Sif meaning kindred or king's woman. And you'll see where I'm going with this. Kindred comes from a combination of kin and the Old English word redon, meaning condition, which itself comes from the verb redan, meaning to advise, to advise. Now, for you out there, what does advise mean? Middle English from Old French advisor, based on Latin ad, to, visere, frequentative of videre, to see. Again, eyes, the original senses included look at and consider, hence consult with others. Emphasis on the eyes, guys. ER from Lucifer, Proto-Indo-European root meaning earth, ground. Also in Hebrew, ER means watching or watcher. Now put one more R on ER, you get ER. This means to stray or wander. That's what your eyes do, don't they? When people talk to you, your eyes are straying, you're looking at a lady, or they're wandering. So they say evil likes to mirror things. So I've emphasised the word Lu, Lieu. Now I wanted to mirror that. And I don't know how I came to think, Paul, mirror it. But what I found blew me away. And as you can see from this video, no pun intended, I'm looking at the eye on this realm of how we see things. Now, Lu, mirrored, becomes UEIL, which looks a bit like veil. But Uel, that's just how I'm pronouncing it, was first known attestation circa 980 from Vulgar Latin Oculus, from Latin Oculus, Proto-European hek, meaning eye, your eye, and also to see. So you can see, no pun intended, I have to say it like that, that Lucifer breaking down, you saw the code and everything that I talked about in the old etymology. It was a year ago, and now I'm changing towards this realm, your eyes, how we see things in this realm. Lucifer is that. It's this realm, how we see, our vision. It's just blown me away, and I'm going to show you everything that I've done so far on the eyes, like the Oculus. I want to include some of that video because it's all about the eyes, and this is what I want to get out of this video. So guys, enjoy the ride, because I don't even know where it's going. So most of you who are watching this video now will be very familiar with Lucifer's sigil. It's in the mirror, I put it there just of ease. And also the images on the right you will also be very familiar with. It's something I've not came up with this theory, I'm just expand on it because we all seem to have stopped at, yeah, it's not a coincidence that the sigil is in regard to our field of view, our focus. And that's what this video is about. Look at Lucifer's name, lightbringer or light bearer. And I'm going to go into what bearer is and things like that, just to show you that it's all about the eyes. It's all about our field of view, our focus, how we look at this realm. That is Lucifer. So in this depiction at the side, it's about an old theory about how the pineal gland relates to our eyes and vision. The lines represent our physical range of focus. Don't you notice a stunning resemblance to a very familiar symbol, the sigil of Lucifer? It's also very interesting that the pineal gland rests in between the two lines, the tip of the lower V. Is it a V or is it 11? Remember, you do a V with your finger. 2, 11, it's a doorway, it's a gateway. Remember, the pineal is the occult name of Janus, whom Lucifer is another name for. I've showed you that in other videos. Can't be a coincidence. And then obviously you got the candle and the penumbra and the umbra, all basically you can't but say it is the field of view, the focus, how light travels in this realm. And that's what I want to get at this video. Lucifer is the light in regard to how we see in this realm with our eyes. It's all connected, and all these videos that I've done in the past have led me up to this, where yep, Lucifer is bringing the light. It's the essence of how we see, and they have changed it that there is an agenda to tag Lucifer with the evil and the devil. In essence, it's just how we see in this realm. So here is the etymology of bearer. One who carries or sustains in any sense. Old English, bearer in water, bearer. It's funny with water in it because we're supposedly in the void from the waters above and the waters below. Agent noun from bear, the meaning one who carries a corpse to the grave, and that's come from 1630. And the Old English form was berend, which means like basically bear, the strength. Now, what made me smile is it's talks obviously about the one who carries a corpse to the grave. Now, as you know, the etymology of the human eye, I talk about in one of my videos that I'm going to show you soon, so I don't want to go too much onto it. Right at the front of the eye is the cornea. How very similar that is to a coroner. And what do a coroner do? Yes, obviously dissect, cut up, inspect human corpses. Cannot be a coincidence. And if you look at the human eye and how it's held, you have obviously the optic nerves and different things and the blood vessels. It's looked like the eye is held, it's carried, it's being burred. Hence why I'm talking about Lucifer, the lightbringer, the light bearer. It's the eyes, how it's holding up, and that's why it's a field of view. I mean, some flockers are making content on this in regard to the eye, and that's London McLovin. And it just, I love when people start looking into different things. I mean, I've been looking into the eye for years. Some of the videos that you've seen, including this, are a couple of years old. So it's just very intriguing how we all think similar things, and that's what's brilliant. And I'm just going on a little bit more, talking about how Lucifer is the bearer of the light, and hence how we see everything in this realm. And when you look at light, it does look like it's been held up with a hand of some sort to bear. Leave that with you guys. So I'm talking about the eyes. Well, if you look at this in the Matrix, the terms red pill and blue pill, similar to pupil, refer to the choice between the willingness to learn a potentially unsettling or life-changing truth by taking the red pill, or remaining in contented ignorance with the blue pill. So it's talking about you to learn. When you learn, you are a pupil. And now the term refers to obviously the scene in the Matrix, another name for the womb, which is rebirth. So we're talking about rebirth, the willingness to learn. Well, when you're at school, you are a pupil. We're all at school. We're all learning. We're born ignorant, but innocent. So I've always talked about how knowledge, light, information are all one and the same. Well, when we're talking about the eyes in this video, obviously, and to get that light, firstly, it passes through the cornea. The cornea sounds a bit like the coroner, and that's a clear front layer of the eye. So some of the light enters the eye through an opening, and that opening is called pupil. Now if we type in the Latin converter, pupil, and I'll put it so you can hear
Pupil.
Pupil, and in Latin,
Pupilla.
pupilla. So that basically means discipulus, apprentice, student, pupil, trainee, disciple, scholar. Pupilla, apple, ward, pupil, pupil of the eye, orphan girl, minor. Auditor, hearer, pupil, listener, disciple. Pupil, pupil of the eye, and eyeball. So you can see the link between learning, light, and knowledge is all through the eye. And that's why I want to do this video on the eye, because I want to put so much different aspects in it, just to make you think, why is there so much this worship of the eye? I mean, think about it now. So you have the light, it just goes through the pupil, which is so important. Then you have the iris. But before I go on the iris, the pupil is the darkest part in the circle. It's dark. And it's funny how evil is dark, black, associated with that, and badness, bad. But it's funny that we're talking about apple of the eye. And if you quickly change the English to apple,
Apple.
and in Latin it means
Malum.
malum, malum, apple fruit, malum, evil, disaster, apple harm, mischief, hurt. So you can see how apple of the eye translates to malum, which is bad. This is in regard to the tale of Adam and Eve taking the fruit off. Is it the tree of knowledge of good and evil? It's weird that they title the tree that, and we're talking about light, knowledge, and fruit. Obviously, we don't know what fruit. The people theorise on what type of fruit it actually was, if it was real. But the tree of knowledge, we're talking about pupils. Pupils are there to learn, and I can quickly join it together to mean bad. So it's just crazy, isn't it? How we all can connect the both. And like I said, the iris, the coloured part of the eye, controls how much light the pupil lets in, and then it passes through the lens, a clear inner part of the eye. Iris. Well, iris is Siri backwards. Siri is the voice on what type of phone? Yes, you got it, a Apple phone. And when you look at the Apple logo, it's obviously an apple. And then the oldest one is obviously the apple falling from a tree, I believe it is, or it's on the tree. I'll show a little image of it. And obviously that ties into the apple from the tree of knowledge, and pupil being something that a person who is learning, and we are here to learn. The control of light, which is information and knowledge, can create something dark and bad. Just intriguing, isn't it? Watching that old video back got me to thinking obviously about trees, and I just mentioned how your eyes are a bird and it looked like hands, but it does also look like a tree and its branches, and it just seems funny or coincidental that the apple of your eye is tied to being bad and pupils being learning. Could it in fact be the metaphor it's talking about is we saw something we shouldn't have seen, we took something from seeing it? Do you know what I mean? You can say a metaphor for lust, or they're taking, basically they talk about taking the apple, and people have been theorising on what the actual fruit is, and it just seems funny that they settled on the apple and how that is connected to the eye. So, the tree could be like a branch, because obviously trees are our lungs, our nervous system, there's all that connection with trees and its roots and its vessels. And it just seems funny that, yes, we're talking about the light bearer holding up. It could also be a tree, and all that correlation between the tree, knowledge, one of the senses of how we learn and how we keep learning every day. We are a pupil. Just seems funny that I couldn't ignore that little bit, so that's why I've just put this little section in. Remember the etymology and mirroring of Lu? Remember from Lucifer a few minutes back to UIL showed it to mean Oculus, which meant eye or to see. And the significance, obviously this video, it's all about eyes and Lucifer being the eyes or how we see. Well, the Pantheon in Rome has a very famous Oculus, and it's obviously the opening at the top. Now, it's not just obviously a circle opening. If a building has a cupola, which are like statues going around, that's also classed as an Oculus. But you think about the famous domes around the world, we have St. Paul's Cathedral, that has an Oculus. Then you then go to Washington DC, the Congress building has an Oculus. So you can see the significance and locations of these Oculuses all around the world. Even now to modern times, we have the Oculus VR virtual reality from Facebook Meta. The significance of the eye. And a long time ago I made a video on this. It is the Oculus, which is built in the World Trade Center location, and it's a pathway for subways, etc. And I talked about how that looked like a Venus flytrap kind of thing. But now you think about it, could it look like an angel landing and his wings out, which ties into Lucifer, the lightbringer or light bearer? Very significant. And I made an old video on the Oculus in New York and the surrounding area. Now, here are some clips from this video showing you obviously the significance, but it's full of wows, definitely wows. Even the etymology, I broke up the Oculus and what that meant, and it'll blow you away, guys. So here's those clips. Looks like angel wings or an eye, right? Hence the Oculus meaning eye. But it's two birds with one stone, as the saying goes. But it is just intriguing, isn't it? So people will have you believing the following is a coincidence. It's just a coincidence, Paul. That's all it is. The angle of the windows is particularly placed so that every year on the anniversary of 9/11, which is in 11, the sun shines directly through the skylight and illuminates the main hall at 10:28 a.m. 10:28 is a hidden 11. 1 or 2, add 8, you got it, is an 11. And I know people have different theories on what hit and not hit, but you know what I mean. So the eye opens at 9:11, which is an 11, at 10:28, which is an 11, to illuminate whomever is in attendance. But that's just a coincidence. And guess what? Guess Lucifer's number in gematria. And it's not going to be hard. Because guess what? Yep, you got it. It's 74, which 7 and 4 adds to 11. Guys, you just can't look past this. We live in the realm of 11, and this video is going to show you everything that blows my mind in regard to this topic.
It's called Oculus, 15,000 tons of steel reaching more than 25 stories tall. Famed architect Santiago Calatrava designed the hub to resemble a bird rising. Its archways will house 11 subway lines, and officials estimate 250,000 commuters every day.
A democracy should be building important buildings for people. It's nice to arrive in the city in an exhilarating place that sort of gives you a lift.
Notice the eye. And here's the eyes that you've already seen. Right guys, here's the wow moment for me. As you can see, if you put Oculus in to light and convert, you don't really get much. It just keeps repeating, or it might even come up the eye, which we all know. Let's see if I can just put it on here, just so I can be fair and show you. You know what I mean? I always like to be straight down the middle. Can you see it? You don't really get much, because can you see that? There you go. The Oculus, the eye. So Oculus means eye. Wait, it's a dove, but we'll still call it the eye. Yeah, right. What an idiot. Right, so as you can see, I've split the Oculus up so it gives you Owl Nobis. And to say, not only is my hair being blew off, my mind's being exploded, my beard is fell off because of what I'm going to show you now. And it just makes sense. So we'll start off with, what do you want to start off with? Oh, I'll tell you what, while I heard you, the OUL. So let's have a look what OUL, and I found different things on it. But like I said, I'm using this because it works for me. And like I said, I've not made it up, I have found it. OUL, noun, plural, owls, obsolete form of owl. Well, there is Moloch. I know Moloch, the owl. They have the Bohemian Grove owl. You have the owl on the dollar bill. And their worship of it. There you go, guys. Tell me. When I found this, when I found the next bit, I was like, boom, my jaw dropped. And then when I seen both of these together, if my jaw could drop anymore, I just don't know how I find this. I just don't. So you can see the OUL. What's it? The OUL is an obsolete form of owl. Tell me you're just not like, oh my god. Right, here we go. The next bit. The Nobis. The different things you can see. There will be no one as happy as us. Us, the world belongs to us. So you have the owl, and it means the world belongs to us. To Moloch, to Baal, to Baphomet, to Janus, to the New World Order, if there is such one. Basically it's the old world order. So they are saying even the word Oculus split down means owl, basically, and the world belongs to us. If you're not just blown away like I am, oh my god, how are you not? Because it just I'm just dumbfounded. Like I said, I've known about this for a day or two, and guys, you know what I'm like. I get so excited. I just want to shout it out to everyone. Guess what I found? Guess what I found? And it's a good job I've got an outlet which can make my videos to get this excitement out and show you. So, Owl Nobis means it belongs to us. The owl. The owl belongs to us. The Moloch belongs to us. The world belongs to us. And they are the worshippers of the owl. Enough said, guys. So that's just a part that it's going to be mixed up on this, and hopefully I can make you think, gee, oh my god, Paul, what have you found? So hopefully I've done that on that. So Oculus split up means Owl Nobis. The owl belongs to us. So you just saw the Owl Nobis in the Latin converter, and I thought, what is Owl Nobis in gematria? And lo and behold, it's 461. 4 add 6 add 1 equals 11. The eyes, the gate, the doorway, Janus' number. But Janus is also another name for Lucifer, as I've showed you many times before. So that intrigued me. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to look a little bit into the OUL a little bit more, because I forgot about it, being honest, and it just fascinated me. Obviously, the link with the old spelling of the word owl. So as you can see on the right, if you put an E on it, it's owl with an E. And remember, LE is something godly, divine. And if you look at this, you can see owl, noun, also OUL, the old spelling of owl. And look at some of the definitions for it. It blew me away. An owl, horned, a horned owl, heard, the figure of an owl on a shield, a pictorial representation of an owl, flight, twilight. And look at number 2, a name for Satan, of hell. B, as a term of abuse and type of ugliness, as a type of spiritual blindness. In Proverbs, sayings and comparisons. So it's talking about spiritual blindness. And I'm showing you how Lucifer is the sight, is the light, in regard how we see this realm. And again, they've been put together, and maybe it's a form of what your opinion shows. Is it evil? Is it light? Is it good? Or is it neither? Is it just is? And how we use the light is evil or good. And that's what I think about a lot of things. It's the intent of the use of something. So that just blew me away when we're looking at it like this. And if you look at the spelling owl with an E, obviously the old is OUL. The old spelling for soul was SOULE. So there we go. So you only have to put an S on it, and it was the old spelling of the soul. And that just blows me away. Now remember, the owl nobis, the world belongs to us. Obviously nobis means another form, basically is us. So could it be the owl? Could it just be talking about the spiritual light, the learning, the information that belongs to us? And that's what they're trying to stop us from having, the sight. Interesting. And again, I'm just putting loads of information in one video, so hopefully we're still with us and you can still understand where I'm coming from. So owls can see objects in 3 dimensions, height, width and depth, and can judge distances in a similar way to humans. Now, the field of view for an owl is about 110 degrees. Huh? It's got an 11 in it. No, that's just a coincidence. And where do you see the human one? It's in an old video, and I'm going to put that in after all this. Crazy. Again, we're looking with 11s, and with about 70 degrees being binocular vision. The owl, and this is just some people's opinions through time, the owl is a bird of ill omen, the embodiment of evil spirits that carries off children at night, according to ancient Arabic tales. In Christian symbolism, the owl stands for the devil and his works. So you can just see a broad range how the owl has been tarred, rightly or wrongly. Hence why they mistranslated Lucifer with the devil and evil. They want to control the light, the flow of information. Was it done on purpose? Occultists like to use the owl as one of their secret symbols, because they can see things that the average person from the public cannot. And possibly why the owl is labelled dark and evil, and why demons are associated with them. You'll see associated with, evil, like there's Moloch, there's the Prince of Hell has an owl, there's Lilith, there's so many people that's associated with it. And it got me back to this old painting from Giuseppe Porto Detto Salviati that I covered a long time ago, and it's a presentation of Jesus to the temple. I mean, come on, there's so much symbolism in this painting, but just look at who's holding the baby. Jesus. You have like a black Pope entity, evil at the side, and what looks like Moloch or an owl holding the baby. It just makes you think, and that's all I want to do in these videos. I don't want to state facts because it's just my opinion on how I interpret this light, this information. But I think it's bloody cool. I do. So the following is from the internet, and it's called the Owl Pages, and it just they're briefly talking about owls in mythology and culture. I thought I'd read a little bit out. I'm just gonna dispatch the introduction. But you know me. So owls in Greek and Roman mythology, there's a few things that intrigued me in this. In the mythology of ancient Greece, Athena, the goddess of wisdom, which a lot of people know the owl, in association with, was so impressed by the great owls and solemn appearance of the owl that, having banished the mischievous crow, she honoured the night bird by making him her favourite among feathered creatures. Athena's bird was a little owl. The owl was protected and inhabited the Acropolis in great numbers. It was believed that a magical inner light gave owls night vision. That's what's intrigued me, the magical inner light. And I believe we have that too, and that is what they are trying to control and stop. As a symbol of Athena, the owl was a protector, accompanying Greek armies to war and providing ornamental inspiration for their daily lives. If an owl flew over Greek soldiers before a battle, they took it as a sign of victory. The little owl has also kept a watchful eye on Athenian trade and commerce from the reverse side of coins. And as you can see, it's on a coin there. Now this what intrigued me, and I'm not going to say anything because most of you should know by now. In early Rome, a dead owl nailed to the door of a house averted all evil that it was supposedly had earlier caused. Wow. We know who the god of doors is, and it's a threshold. We talk about vampires needing permission to cross. We talk about how the law need something on the law connected with the eyes also, but I'll show you that later also. So the law needs a warrant to get past your threshold. It isn't for you, it's to Janus. It's asking Janus' permission, and this is just something else. Again, it's just showing you different opinion, different cultures have different opinions on what an owl is. It's all about the intent. That's what I believe anyway, as I've just said. So they were nailed to the door to avert all evil. To hear the hoot of an owl presaged imminent death. The death of Julius Caesar, Augustus, Commodus, Aurelius and Agrippa were apparently all predicted by an owl. Yesterday the bird of a night did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. That's from Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. The Roman army warned of impending disaster by an owl before its defeat at Chiaria on the plains between the Euphrates and the Tigris River. According to Artemidorus, a 2nd century soothsayer, to dream of an owl meant that a traveller would be shipwrecked or robbed. Another Roman superstition was that witches transformed into owls and sucked the blood out of babies. So you can say so many, even in the same cultures, so many different opinions. In Roman mythology, Proserpine or Persephone was transported to the underworld against her will by Pluto, god of the underworld, and was to be allowed to return to her mother, Ceres, goddess of agriculture, provided she ate nothing while in the underworld. Asclepius, however, saw her picking a pomegranate and told her what he had seen. He was then turned into an owl for his trouble, a sluggish screech, a lonesome bird. Also in England they had this nailing an owl to the door, and it went on to, like I said, reading it out now, and I'll come back to that in a sec. So the folklore, so basically what I was just talking about the Romans, but it went to the 19th century. Folklore surrounding the barn owl is better recorded than most other owls. In English literature, the barn owl had a sinister reputation, probably because it was a bird of darkness, and darkness was always associated with death. During the 18th and 19th century, the poets Robert Blair and William Wordsworth used the barn owl as their favourite bird of doom. During that same period, many people believed that the screech of an owl or an owl flying past the window of a sick person meant imminent death. The barn owl has also been used to predict the weather by people in England. A screeching owl meant cold weather or a storm was coming. If heard during foul weather, a change in the weather was at hand. So you can just see how so many contradictions. The custom of nailing an owl to a barn door to ward off evil and lightning persisted into the 19th century. You're talking 200 years ago. Wow. From Roman times. Another traditional English belief was that if you walked around an owl and tree, it would turn and turn its head to watch you until it wrung its own neck. Among early English folk cures, alcoholism was treated with an owl egg. The imbiber was prescribed raw eggs, and a child given this treatment was thought to gain lifetime protection against drunkenness. Owl eggs, cooked until they turned into ashes, were also used as a potion to improve eyesight. Owl broth was given to children suffering from whooping cough. Odo of Cheriton, a Kentish preacher of the 12th century, has this explanation of why the owl is nocturnal. The owl had stolen the rose. Remember, rose also means secret, which was a prize award for beauty, and the other birds punished it by allowing it to come out only at night. In parts of northern England, it is good luck to see an owl. And then it goes on to about owls in American Indian culture. Among the different American Indian tribes, there are many diverse beliefs regarding the owl. Presented here are some of those beliefs. According to an Indian legend, the Spedis owl carving was placed on a rock to serve as a protector from the water devils and monsters that could pull a person into the water. The owl on a rock may also indicate the ownership of that location for fishing. So it's just crazy. You mean how many different opinions? And I've saw friends on social media talking about owls, and I keep going back to it. And yes, it might sound like a broken record, but it's the intent. Why is hell bent, no pun intended, on making the owl evil? Because it represents a lot of things that I'm talking about in this video in regard to the sight and the light. To the Apache Indian, dreaming of an owl signified approaching death. Cherokee shamans valued eastern screech owls as consultants, as the owls could bring on sickness as punishment. The Cree people believed boreal owl whistles were summons from the spirits. If a person answered with a similar whistle and did not hear a response, then he would soon die. The Dakota Indians saw the burrowing owl as a protective spirit. The Hopis see the burrowing owl as the god of the dead, the guardian of fires and tender of all underground things, including seeing germination. The owl, the name for the burrowing owl is Koko, which means watcher of the dark. Again, watcher. Lucifer's ER was in reference to watcher. And we also have those class of angels as watchers. They also, the Gregorian, or Gregor or something, and I think I've got something on that for later, hopefully, if I remember. They also believed that the great horned owl helped the peaches grow. The Inuit believed that the short-eared owl was once a young girl who was magically transformed into an owl with a long beak. The owl became frightened and flew into the side of a house, flattening its face and beak. They also named the boreal owl the blind one because of its tameness during daylight. Inuit children make pets of boreal owls. Native Northwest Coast Coagulth people believe that owls represent both a deceased person and their newly released soul. Again, soul connected with it also. It's crazy, isn't it? The Kwakiutl Indians were convinced that the owls were the souls of people and therefore that should not be harmed, for when an owl was killed, the person to whom the soul belonged would also die. That's beautiful, and sad in the same point of view. The Napi Indians believed that if they dreamt of an owl, it would become their guardian. The Menominee people believed the day and night were created after talking contest between a sore-wet owl and a rabbit. The rabbit won and selected daylight, but allowed nighttime as a benefit to the vanquished owl. So you can just see There's loads, so if you want to go to this page, it's owlpages.com, and it's just a few other things. So California Newarks believed that after death the brave and virtuous became the great horned owls. The wicked, however, were doomed to become barn owls. According to Navajo legend, the creator Nyanzangani told the owl after creating it, "In days to come, men will listen to your voice to know what will be in their future." So, you know, it's interesting, and that's just what I want to put in this. And I've talked about the owl a little bit too much, but I just found it fascinating how it's connected to a lot of what I'm talking about in regard to light, the sight, both interpretations of being good and evil, and the soul connected to it also. So that's why I've put a lot in about this owl, just because I found it fascinating, and hopefully you two guys have too. And if you want to go and look, it's owlpages.com, and anywhere else that you want to look at what an owl means. So according to science, we only see 1% of the visual light spectrum. So in turn, that means we are missing 99% of what's actually going on. It's startling, that, isn't it, if it's true? So most of our existence then is hidden. We're living in an occult world. The question I want to know is, if we all see just 1%, is it the same 1% we all see? So the next time we see a theory we don't like, let's not scoff at it, because that person just might be seeing a different 1% than us. They just might be peering through different doors. And what number represents the door, the portal, the gateway? I've said it enough on the channel, you got it, 11. Now this got me because this blew me away. Doesn't matter which way you add it, it still adds to this. So what you're actually seeing here is your angles, your field of view. So let's add the numbers up. 6 add 6, add 7, add 5, add 9, add 5 equals 38. That's 3 add 8, that's 11. That's that number again. So if you don't like using those numbers, let's actually just add the numbers together as well. 60, add 75, add 60, add 95, that's 290. 9 add 2 equals 11. So whatever way we look at it, our eyes see in the number 11. The doorway, the portal, everything is a frequency, a vibration, an energy. Who has the keys of the frequency keys? And that is Janus. Is that why he's so influential? Just blows my mind. And something else that blows my mind, I've just showed you the 11s in regards to the field of view, but look at this, guys. The visual spectrum ranges from about 380 to 740 nanometers. Spectral colours that are produced by a nano bandwidth of wavelengths such as red, orange, yellow, green, cyan or cyan, blue and violet can be found in this range. Just look at the visual light spectrum. 380. 3 add 8 is, yes, you got it, 11. And it goes to 740. 7 add 4 is, I don't know, wait, 11. The bloody visual light spectrum is 11. I've been talking about this 11 for so long, and I'm just proving it, and I'm proving it. And yes, it's a theory, but wow, guys, come on. How many 11s does it need for people to realise, you know what, there's something to this. We're seeing in 11 the doorway, Janus's number. This is just so cool. It blew my mind when I found this. And then I found another 11 in regard to the eyes, and that's coming up now. I just had to re-edit a few things because I wanted to keep them all together in regard to the eye. But I'm just mind blown. So that other bit of the 11 is the volume of the eye, and I'll talk about this now coming up. Wasn't that fascinating, guys? I mean, I know some of you have seen my old videos, but how much information do we hold and store? That's hence on the doorway effect and the atmospheric memory, but you know what I mean. And when you then put it all in context together, it starts to paint a different picture. I mean, we're talking about obviously the eyes, and I came across this the other day. So we're looking with the 11s, field of view, like owls, is a doorway. We're peering through the veil. It's all frequencies. And look at this, guys. I mean, how many times do we go, wow, when we're looking in the adult human, the volume of the orbit, which is, you know, like the eye socket where it's held, and it's 13 milliliters, 1.6 imp fluid ounces. In US, it's 1.01 US ounce. Hidden 11. Well, let's carry on. Of which the eye occupies, so the space the eye occupies is 6.5 milliliters, or mLs, whatever it is. I'm just saying milliliters. And it talks about 0.23 imp fluid ounces. So come on, guys. Again, the eyes are 11, and the space the eye occupies is 6.5, which is, yes, you got it, in 11. Wow. We live in the realm of L11, who so happens to be Janus, who so happens to be, yes, Lucifer. It's how we see. I'm just blown away, and you know what, I'm starting to get more and more proud of the work I'm doing, because I know, yes, it is my own interpretation, it's my own perspective and opinions of what I see, but more and more people are seeing it now when you put them all together. And it's just, you know, I feel loved and welcomed when people just, yep, I can see what you're seeing, Paul. And that's all I ever want, people to say, yep, I can see what you're seeing. You might be crazy, Paul, or I don't get it, but I can see what you're on about. And when we're putting things together like this, talking about how Lucifer is the light, how we see in this realm, and what connects everything together is influential number 11, which is the doorway. And it's not necessarily just a physical door, it's a spiritual door, but it's also your eyes. They're like windows, the doors to the soul. Just blows me away. Hopefully you're thinking the same. So following on from this, we hear the word occult talked about quite a lot in the community, but what does it mean? So this is the basic definition of it. It literally means hidden from view. So that's why a lot of play and talk is on light, because it reveals what is hidden. The occult, from the Latin word occultus, means clandestine, hidden, secret. Basically is knowledge of the hidden. So let's look at the words occultist and oculist. It's very, very similar. Sometimes when I'm dyslexic, I read them as the same. But let's have a look a bit more into both words. The meaning of occultism is occult, theory or practice or belief in other study or action or influence of supernatural or supernormal powers. And the oculist is a person who examines or treats people's eyes. We're talking about hidden from view, and basically the name of the same word, treats eyes. How intriguing is that? And like I say, it intrigues me that the oculists were a secret society called the High Enlightened Oculist Order of Wolfenbüttel. Now, the oculists use sight as a metaphor for knowledge. So again, it's all connected. Now, the oculists wanted to bring the light to each member of the order. So it's an intriguing order, and a few years ago they actually found a manuscript that's been here for a while, but they've only just deciphered it. And it was called the Coffee Ale Cipher, and it has like 75,000 words or letters in it, and they believe they've just in the last 10 years deciphered it, which is intriguing because it's talking about the oculists, which is occultists. And this is something that's been deciphered. Masons are saying it's done incorrectly, but I can only show you what I can find. And it talks about one practice, specific. The master wears an amulet with a blue eye in the center. Now I'll be talking about blue later on in the video, Now before him a candidate kneeled in a candlelight room surrounded by microscopes and surgical implements. The master places a piece of paper in front of the candidate and orders him to put on a pair of eyeglasses. Read, says the master, it is an impossible task, the page is blank. Told not to panic, there is hope for his vision to improve. The master wipes the candidate's eyes with a cloth and orders the surgery to commence. The members of the sidelines raise their candles high and the master begins to pluck at the eyebrows of the candidate. Try reading again. The first page is replaced with another during the procedure, filled with text. Congratulations, my brother. Now you can see. Now that just gets you to thinking what actually happened. Were they actually performing, or is it just ritual based? But this order was influenced by the Masonry, but I've read somewhere that these influenced the Masons also, and basically, and I'm just paraphrasing what I read, the Masons knew shit, and this was just from a little bit I read. So I just found it intriguing. I had to include this little bit because obviously it's tied to the eyes, and just look what the master word, an amulet with a blue eye in the centre, and we'll get onto that soon enough. So that last bit talked about how the master word an amulet with a blue eye in it, and I said I wanted to talk about blue a little bit because it is connected to the eye. Obviously it was a blue eye, but we also have the famous blue eye of the evil eye to ward off against evil forces. So that got me thinking, how can it be about the blue in regard to the eye? And I wanted to look at the colour blue because obviously I'm talking about Lucifer in this video, and one of the earliest depictions of Lucifer can be traced to a mosaic at the Basilica of Sant Apollinare Nuovo, Ravenna, Italy, and as you can see he's blue. So was that just done accidentally, or was that done on purpose? And I want to show you why it was not an accident, and I'll show you that in a sec. But throughout history, blue has been considered as a sacred and valuable hue. It's not a naturally occurring pigment and is particularly mystical and rare, hence why blue is the colour of all heavenly gods and stands for distance, for the divine and for the spiritual. So there's a connection there with your eyes and you that I wanted to get on light and knowledge that I've been talking about. It got me thinking, what do the so-called L-ites, or L-shites as I call them, like to call themselves? They like to call themselves the blue bloods, and a blue blood is an aristocrat, and they come from privileged noble families that are wealthy and powerful. So it sounds like them. So I found this in my old video and it just got me thinking, wow. So in this, I think it was on something called Bible Study, it says, in the Bible it seems sapphires were likely used by God to adorn a new created Lucifer. And it says sapphire is the Hebrew word used for the seventh stone that the Lord used to beautify his creation. That's from Ezekiel 28:13. But underneath it goes on to say 5 of our 10 comparison translations used in the series rendered the word sapphire as sapphires, with 3 others, and you know, it's just names of online Bibles type of thing, stating that the stone was also, or could be, a lapis lazuli. Now they started using this in the Bible now. You might go in and have a look, and it's been changed to lapis lazuli, and as you know, lapis lazuli is blue, obviously like a sapphire blue, but lapis lazuli is famous in ancient times as the blue underneath the Egyptians' eyes and Sumerians. But again, it's telling you that the Bible says God adorned created Lucifer, and he adorned him with blue. So there we go, we have that saying that Lucifer is blue. Intriguing. And as you can see here, sapphires were not known before the Roman Empire. The elder Pliny gives a description of sapphire, translated by most as sapphire, as being like the night sky, spangled with stars, and Theophratus describes sapphire spotted with gold. Because of these ancient sources, most scholars now agree that sapphire in the Bible meant lapis lazuli, which is also known in ancient times. You can see a little image there. And I'm going to put a little clip that I made in an old video just to briefly go over that for you now, guys. So looking at those blue evil eyes, it got me thinking of lapis lazuli. And one meaning of lapis lazuli is blue stone. You can see it's the crystal. Another is heaven's stone. That will make more sense later on. And the Egyptians believed it offered protection and was a symbol of truth. And don't we look as a community for the truth? And so it's no surprise that then they use lapis lazuli under their eyes. I mean, Sumerians, Egyptians all did it. And now is this to protect the windows of the soul and to aid in the search for truth? It's just intriguing, the use of lapis lazuli in this under the eyes, the blueness. It's intriguing, isn't it? Especially when you put it in regard to what I've showed you so far. It's an intriguing stone, it's lapis lazuli. It's said it's one of the most mystical gemstones out there, known as the stone of wisdom. And we're talking about light in this video. We're talking about Lucifer, bringer of light, bringer of knowledge, information. And it talks how this stone can help you tap into your inner intuition and clear any blockages from your third eye. It also invites self-expression, creative thinking, and brings clarity and confidence to the forehead, where your eyes are. And they are putting this blue under their eyes also to protect and show them the truth. What are they asking to see? But this realm that they live in, blue is also connected to the divine. It's crazy, and this is what I was getting in the video. Obviously the eyes, obviously blue in regard to Lucifer being portrayed as blue and adorned with blue, and obviously the root of the word blue in etymology wise is this, as the following: of the colour of the clear sky, circa 13th century. Again, it's coming from that great vowel shift period, again, that I've always talked about. Sky coloured, also livid, lead coloured, from Old French blow, blue, pale, pallid, wan, light coloured, blonde, discoloured, blue grey, from Frankish blau or some other Germanic source. So you can just see where we're going from this. But also, this is the pi, the root of it was behel, B-H-E-L. Sounds funny, that, doesn't it? It means light coloured, blue, blonde, yellow. Behel. Lucifer's supposed to be in hell. Behel, blue. Means to shine. It means flash, burn. Also shining white, shining light, like the star. Remember he was mislabeled from Hillel Ben Shara, the morning light, the dawn star, and forming words for bright colours. The same pi root yielded Latin flavus, meaning yellow, or Spanish blava. So you can see where this is going from. It means to shine, it means light coloured, bright, white, to shine, to flash, to burn, like fire, Prometheus and the fire. Now if you click on to more etymology of behel, and I'll find that for you now. There's just so much. Means to shine, flash, burn, shining white, and various bright colours, including blue that I've talked about, and even black, blanket, flagrant flame. And you get things like, it's in the beluga, from the Russian beluga. You have Beltane, obviously Baal, Balanos, Bel. Just so many, it comes from the word blue and behel. And it's just mind-blowing. And this is the colour that they decided to label Lucifer as. Obviously it also means shine, flash and white. So it's just intriguing, and I thought I'd put this little bit in to see if it makes any sense to you. It doesn't to me, but you know, we all learn, don't we? So to the etymology of eye itself. But firstly this, time is a man-made construct, right? That's what we've always been told. And what, you know, is the theory. Now, scientists and philosophers argue that time is not a fixed and objective reality, but rather a subjective and human-made illusion. Is time simply an illusion made up of human memories? Who knows? But what I found intriguing is the etymology of eye and how it connects to time. So eye, circa 12th century, again the vowel shift, from Old English E-G-E, Mercian E-A-G-E, age, or eye, West Saxon, eye, region around the eye, aperture, hole, aperture, hole, from Proto-Germanic aegion, source of Old Saxon aga, Old Frisian age, Old Norse aga, Swedish, and so on, Dutch og, Old High German auga. So you can just see from the root OKW, Okwa, to see. So age with a EAGE, and as you can see on the screen, it means obviously age, amount of time something has existed. Also age of person, age in the era we live in, and also law, coming of age, date of coming of age, etc, etc. So you can see the I etymology comes from age and era and time. Well, it's all connected to the eyes, and I just thought, you know what, it said era then, let me just see how many eras science say there is. Oh, 11 periods of geological time. We've heard 11 before. Why are they doing this 11? Why does it seem to be connected to the eyes? Because the eyes are 11. It's how we see, it's how we memorize, in regard to our ears also, from sound and memories. This is just blowing me away, guys, and I just want to show you the significance of this and Lucifer, all being in regard to the light and also the eyes. Hopefully you're finding it as interesting as I am making it. And again, look at the etymology of age, but look at the word AGE. I mean, what's it in? It's in all the world is a stage, and we're merely players or actors. Stage contains AGE. It's also containing anagram for gates. Sage, mage. There's so many words with AGE in regard to I and also time. Mind blowing. So I just want to finish off this section and quickly talk about this. Obviously, we all know about the telescope called Lucifer. The Vatican are part owners of it. They said they didn't name it, blah blah blah. It's now called Lucy with LUCI, but you know, it was called Lucifer for a while. So obviously it looks like eyes, doesn't it? I mean, then you have the Vatican, it's called the Holy See. Again, emphasis on the sea, the eyes. But they say the word see comes from the Latin sedas, meaning seat or chair, which refers to the episcopal chair occupied by the bishop and the area which he has responsibility. And many long time ago, and I think I've included a little bit in this video, I showed this image and I was talking about how they did this symbol, like the owl, and it was regarding to the sacral area, which I've done many videos on. One of them is called the connection. But now when you think about it, not also does it represent the sacred area where the sacred arch is, also resembles an owl. I've talked about how it's also showing you one of the vowels, the I, but it just blows you away that they're showing you that the world belongs to us by doing this symbol, and also showing you the secrecy, the worship of the eyes. And a lot of people have different theories on this, you know, the Black Eye Club, etc., which I've also done videos on, but just mind-blowing when it's now connecting and everything, showing you that the world belongs to us, them, the El-shites as I call them, and the owl, remember, owl, Oculus, means the world belongs to us. So, have you heard that term, in the eyes of the law? And it's always got to me because I've made a few videos on it, as you all know, guys. But as you can see, Lady Justice or Justice, it's always blindfolded me, and that puzzled me in the sense of why in the eyes of the law if she's blindfolded. But if you look at the scales, and I've just put an image I found online on the right, as you can see, if you look down from above how we're looking at it, does not the scales remind you of the field of view from our eyes? It's like two eyes and a field of view. It's crazy. And what I'm going to show you now is from a very old video. It's actually a couple of videos, and it's not to be taken as fact, and it could be just dumb luck or whatever. Something happened in the machine, but it still made me go wow, and I had to include it all those years ago because I don't know, you know, when you get that feeling, and it was just part of it. So I have to be honest and say, listen, you probably couldn't do it now. For some reason it worked this day, like many things, and I just want to show you. So obviously you can see on the screen I put retina on. Obviously retina's part of the eyes, and I split it in half because I like to split words up because obviously they're spells, and I always try and see if I can find something intriguing from these. So as you can see, I put retina into the Latin converter. Now what's going to happen in a minute, I'm just going to let it flow, and obviously in the middle you have the arrows where you can actually forward it to see what else comes from out of those words. And I wasn't expecting to find what I found. That was the bit I went, wow. So as you can see, this changed your screen because this is from a very old video. I just wanted to use the other one to show you. So as you can see, retina on the screen, and if I just click play, because obviously I recorded it at the time, you can see me clicking that screen. So retina, and it changing into re in a, or in English of in a. I clicked it again, and I got of in a and an ex soccere sui in Latin. So I thought, is that it? And then I clicked it again, and the ex soccere sui came to the law. And I went, wow. So I found the law from the retina, and that just blew me away.
Psalm 119:18. Open my eyes that I may see wondrous things from your law. The Word our defense. The Bible should never be studied without prayer. The Holy Spirit alone can cause us to feel the importance of those things easy to be understood, or prevent us from wresting truths difficult of comprehension. It is the office of heavenly angels to prepare the heart so to comprehend God's Word that we shall be charmed with its beauty, admonished by its warnings, or animated and strengthened by its promises. We should make the psalmist's petition our own. Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law.
So another verse I like is this one, and it refers to the eye in this way. Now we believe it is, the eyes are the windows to the soul, basically. But anyway, I'll read it out. So the lamp of the body is the eye. Therefore, when your eye is good, your whole body is also full of light. But when it is evil, your body is also full of darkness. I wonder if that's why they age so quickly if they don't have the adrenochrome. Who knows? It's just intriguing, isn't it? So this ties into what I'm going at in this video. And like we were just saying, the famous verse, the eyes are the windows of the soul. And I remember back when I did the etymology of Oculus and the old spelling of owl, O-W-L, which, yes, is a vowel in the sense of it's in the vowels. One of the big videos that I've made, the great vowel shift. Now anyway, so back to this. So it just intrigued me that we're talking about the windows are your, the windows of your soul are your eyes. And remember back in that little clip I was just talking about the etymology of Oculus, which is obviously its eye. It contained the owl, the O-U-W, but also there was just another letter, and it was soul. Remember the old spelling of soul? S-O-U-L-E. So it's like hitting two birds with one stone, and that got me to thinking of the the Vatican, and how they claimed unum sanctum in 1302. And if you're not familiar with that, most of you are. It's basically a papal bull, and it declared that the Roman pontiff had supreme control of the material world. He states that the body, our body, is governed by the soul, and thus the soul is governed by the ruler of the spiritual. Therefore, the Roman pontiff is governor of both soul and body. So basically, the same they own us, they own our souls. Hence why you do register your birth. And it got me to thinking. I know it's dangerous sometimes. Remember the actual full etymology of Oculus, I said the owl and the world belongs to us. So basically the owl is tied to light, wisdom, etc. Could it be like what I was just talking about, the eyes are the windows of the soul? The owl is the soul. So them saying that they own our souls, does Oculus mean soul and the world belongs to us, meaning they own both? It's just an intriguing way to look at it. And again, you know what I'm like, guys, it's not fact, it's just an opinion, and we all have one. And that's just what I'm taking from that little bit, that the Oculus, the owl, the world belongs to us, could be the soul and the world belongs to us. It's just a thought. See what you guys think. So, as we know from near the beginning, in Roman folklore, Lucifer, lightbringer in Latin, was the name of the planet Venus, though it was often personified as a male figure bearing a torch. The Greek name for this planet was variously Phosphorus, also meaning lightbringer, or Hessophorus, meaning dawnbringer. Obviously, you have Hillel ben Shira, which again was the translation in the Bible, and it got changed to obviously this in Latin, in the Vulgar Latin. So this just got me thinking. Obviously they're talking about obviously Lucifer. Now the bit at the bottom I've showed you many times in videos, but because obviously we have new people watching all the time, it is a connection with Janus. It's just other people's opinions, just like mine. So Janus came from Rome, from ancient Italic Sabine tribes who inhabited the areas of Lazio. This is what they're saying. Umbria and Abruzza in northern Italy. The god form of Janus remained wholly Roman, with no Greek counterpart, but there is. But everyone else says there's not. There is. He evolved from Janus, an oak god, one of his wives. Jana is a version of Diana, Dione, the moon and the woodland goddess. He's parent to Aurora, bringer of light, and Orion, the mighty hunter and fire setter. Interestingly enough, Janus is also associated with Lucifer, another fire and light deity. So that's just showing you other people are saying that Janus is associated with Lucifer and Prometheus, etc, etc, etc. So that's why I always say when people talk about Lucifer, yes, he's also Janus to some. And that is like anything in this reality. It's just whoever, you know, what we think changes from day to day. But I just thought that was intriguing because obviously we're talking about Lucifer. I wanted to show the Janus connection because obviously they share the same number. So that is just intriguing. And what's coming up now is what everyone loves to show is the path of Venus and the Earth around the sun. And before any people get a little bit of snowflakey, it's an example. Chill your beaters, as we say. So here we go, guys. I've slowed it down, and this is, according to science, is Venus and its dance around the sun and with the Earth, and it reveals a pattern. Now, a pattern of a flower, but also something else if you can see it. Now, I in my head, I'm just saying that instead of the sun, it's the Earth. And it's doing this pattern above us. I just, you know, that is my own personal belief. So I believe the Earth is in the centre and it's doing this shape around us, not with us, and around the sun. But if true, it reveals this flower. Now, what shape in the centre do you see? I see this. And again, I'll put it aside of it doing it. It is the pentagram. And obviously you have the pentagram and the pentacle. The pentacle or pentacle is different because the pentacle has the circle around it. So you can, in a sense, say it's a pentacle. But you can see my point. And obviously they reference Lucifer, Satan as the goat. And it's also that same pattern that you can see on the right. So you can see how everything connects to the one entity. And whereas people are saying it's the sun being danced around by Venus and the Earth, I believe it's us and the sun and Venus dancing around us. Also looks like an eye, doesn't it, guys? Right, guys, I'm going to be finishing soon. I was going to finish at this, but I've just found something. It's the topping of the cake. It really is going to send you, wow, it has me. And it's just proving my point what I've been trying to get at in this video about just how special the eyes are and the vision and the light and how everything is connected. So if you followed my channel for a while, you will notice this symbol. It's the two St. Johns. It's Masonic in its nature, and it's a St. John the Baptist and St. John the Evangelist, and it's tied to the summer solstice, which is Janus. Even on the Mason sites, they'll tell you it is the Janus. Janus is derivative of Janus is John. So the two St. Johns. And if you look at it, it's also got, it's a symbol for gold, it's a symbol for the circumpunct, the Godhead, enlightenment, wisdom, knowledge. There's so many things around it. It's also, if you're into comics or anything like that, the Green Lantern symbol. But it's just got me thinking, and I think I've mentioned it before and not realised the significance, because I didn't make this video then. So look at it, and what do you see, guys? And this is just another wow, but it's so simple, because we've talked about this symbol for so long, the two gatekeepers. But you put the symbol on its side, and what does it then reveal? It's only our eyes. Can you not see the two St. Johns? The top line is your top eyelid, the bottom is your eyelid. It's your eyes. The symbol that even the Masons say they don't know what the actual significance of it and what it actually is. I'm telling you, it's a goddamn bloody eye. And it's just showing you how the significance about this realm, how everything is connected. And you've got two eyes, 11s. How many 11s are they showing you in regards to the eye? And even the two eyelids, they're 1, 2 rows. 11, the doorway, the sight. And I was just like, wow. Just wow. So as you can see why I'm excited, because I've been talking about this so long and give a few theories to what it is and its significance. It really is important. But it just ties into what we're trying to get at in this video, showing you about the sight and the eyes. And when you put the two St. Johns on the side, this Masonic symbol, it's representing the eyes to me. It's showing you the eyes. Because you go down the rabbit hole, you know, you're going down the rabbit hole, you're going down the tunnel, you need a doorway, and your eyes are the windows to the soul. Remember? So I'm just absolutely just blown away. And what I'm gonna end on is, again, you will just go, wow, no such thing as a coincidence. And that bit is coming up now, guys. Right, guys, I'm gonna finish with this, because where'd you stop? I've still got to do my thoughts. And I don't even know where to begin with that. But I want to finish with this because I think this is highly significant. So if you remember through the video, we're talking about the actual volume of the eye added to 11. Coincidence, maybe. Then we're talking about the visual light spectrum range being both 11. Again, coincidence not. So we're seeing these 11s everywhere. Obviously Lucifer added to 11 also. Janus opens to 11. I've talked about the realm of 11, the realm we live in. And then the field of view added to 11. I mean, come on, how many times has this got be a coincidence for people to take notice and say, you know what, you might be onto something here. I just don't know what will. And it's just really shaking me, a good shaking, because it's wow. So we've got all those 11s in regard to the eye. Yeah, that's really good, Paul. Then I was just about to finish. And I was just talking with my good friend Ryder, and I said, guess what I've just found also? And he went, no way. So, and I'm no expert on this, I'm not even a beginner, so, you know, if I get this wrong, so be it. But the main points of it is a certain number, and it's about the human eye. So the human eye contains a molecule, right? Molecule. Look at that word firstly, molecule. Does it not sound like Moloch? Molecule. Moloch. Yeah, unless it's Moloch. Anyway, so the human eye contains a molecule. Guess what it's called? It's called 11-cis retinal. Come on, guys. This is huge. How much more do I have to show people to not be made a mockery of? And I'm just going to read a little bit out of it, because obviously I don't even know really what it is. The human eye contains a molecule called 11-cis, cis retinal, that changes conformation when struck with light of sufficient energy. The change in conformation triggers a series of events that results in an electrical signal being sent to the brain. So this is hugely significant, right? And it's called 11-cis retinal. But it doesn't just stop there. The minimum energy required to change the conformation of 11-cis retinal within the eye is about 164 kilojoules-mol. So 164, oops, another 11, and molecule or moloch, the owl, Janus, and that is in regard to the wavelength and the vision in the eye. Come on guys, I want please make this sense. I feel like I found something. It's all tying together, and it's all about the 11s and how we see this realm, and we're in the realm of 11. And the 11-cis retinal is a derivative of vitamin A, LF, and it combines with opsin to form rhodopsin, and a pigment in rod cells that is necessary for vision. So it's significant for your vision, and it's called 11, and the minimum energy to trigger it is an 11. Wow. So you've got the significance of this 11-cis retinal being 11, the energy required to trigger a minimum event of it and change the pulse and send the signals to the brain so we can actually see is an 11. The volume of the eye is an 11. The visual spectrum range is from 11 to 11. The field of view is 11. But this is just me making shit up, and this is me just getting it so wrong. I can only show you what I found and find, and that's why I leave it up to you guys to make whatever decisions you want on this. But I believe this is hugely important, and it's showing you about the eye and all the ties to 11. Come on guys, this is wow. And I'm just glad I found it and able to show you guys, shared it with you guys, see your guys, you lot, your reaction to it. I'm lost for words. I don't even know what to say. It's like, how do I find this shit, as I say? I just don't know. So there you go guys, I'll just finish it now. I might do a part 2 and 3 of this, who knows. Let's just see what the reaction goes, but I'm going to go to my thoughts, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video. So thank you for the ride guys. I know it's been a long one, and I've got my thoughts coming up now.
Yeah, they call me the black sheep. You know they call me the black sheep.
Hello and welcome. Right guys, firstly, like always, I want to thank you for your love and support. Again, it's humbling. And for those who have bought me a coffee, which the link is in the description if you want to do that, again, thank you. Times are hard, and I just so appreciate the love and the support you guys show. It's humbling. It makes you realize the significance of what we're doing here, you know. Puts life into perspective, and I just appreciate you guys so much. So thank you, and I mean it a lot. Just sometimes doesn't look like it, but hey, what could we do? I don't try and get too excited. I let the work get me excited. So on to the topic. Where do we go from here? So if you're wondering why I call it Disciples of Lucifer, firstly you have to look at the etymology of the eye. Remember when I showed you the eye on the screen, you can research back, pupilla, malum, bad, and it also had one of the subheadings, disciples. So the eyes are the disciples, they are the pupils. And I thought, you know what, I want to call it Disciples of Lucifer, because just from my perspective, the word Lucifer is being tagged to something evil and to something occultish, hidden. Remember, occult is hidden from view. So someone has decided to hide that fact about its connection to light and mistranslate, I believe on purpose, to tag and hide that from view, because people will see the word Lucifer and you automatically think of the devil. If I keep going that, it's just because obviously, as you know, I had a slight dive down the stairs a minute, so I'm not wearing my collar on that because I can't talk with it, so I'm just gonna be luckily uncomfortable a little bit, but I'll brave it for you guys. So that isn't the point of the video, and if you're thinking, oh, he's not done much on the eyes before, you've only got to scroll down, guys, and I've touched on these topics so long ago at the start of my so-called YouTube career of sorts of making content. I've talked about the eyes quite a bit because they've always fascinated me, and I look into them a little bit different than most people do in my own weird way, because it's how we see. So some of the videos like the Oculus and the Oculus occultist, they're all videos now you can see on, some of them will be on my new channel now, the What Flock TV, but before I got deleted, they were on the Black Sheep. So you're talking 3-4 years ago I made some of them. The Lucifer video, the spell etymology I made about a year ago, and if only I carried that on, I would have found what I found the other day, which triggered me into looking into this. So like I said, we have flockers like London McLovin and other people looking at I in this realm, how we live in. I looked at that a very long time ago, the micro world, and we all just find our own way. And I started then found Janus, found that it was connected to Lucifer, and that's the route primarily that I've gone down. So I want to start with something the most significant of the video, and for anyone who's just subscribed or just view or casually viewing and not watched my back catalogue of sorts, I talk about a topic called L11, the realm of 11. It's the realm we live in, from the etymology of electric, meaning the jurisdiction of L, to actually the description of it, meaning, you know, basically a flat circle with 2 poles and everything enclosed. I did that a year or 2 years ago. So that all correlates to this, because it correlates to the St. John's symbol, which is obviously, like me personally, is like the Green Lantern symbol. It's hidden in plain sight. Why is it hidden in plain sight? What do we hide? It's the eyes. That's why you have the secret society called the Oculus. And you have all the secret society symbolism of holding the eye, doing, you know, all the shenanigans that they do. And if you followed me for a while, you know I completely look at that completely different to what everyone else does, because everyone freaks out, oh, eye symbolism. I believe it's to do with the vowels. And one of my old videos that is on my channel talk about how each symbol, like the hand in the coat, the hand on the eye, the horns on the hands and different things, they're all the vowels, etymology wise. They spell A-E-I-O-U. So I look at things completely different to people do, and sometimes a lot of the points that I make get lost because I put a lot of topics, a lot of content into the videos, and a lot of things to think on that you forget. Instead, I forget I've made some of these videos and what I said in them, and they're so significant. And I've started doing it more, as you know, guys, and I've started bigging myself up because I'm proud of what I've done. Before, it was like I was proud, but I didn't want to be seen to be proud because it's egotistical. It's not. I'm just proud of what we've created together, you guys supporting me. And if any other channel did this content, everyone would be, oh, great stuff, and it'd be gone viral. But it's not. And sometimes that does get, you know, that could be my ego getting involved. But sometimes I am glad that some of it doesn't, because it's like a family, and the more people you get in, the more trouble it attracts. So you know, you have your blessings, and that's what I'm blessed to have, you know, a good selection of people who, flockers, that support me. So onto the eye. I want to know, because I get a lot of trolls saying, oh, everything has to 11, it's not significant. And we know these people are just jealous, and, you know, jealous of people having a different opinion and have agendas, basically the followers from other channels, and they're trying to get you down. And that stuff, it just goes away with where my hair went. You know what I mean? What it washed and went. So tell me, I've not found something so significant with that realm of 11. I've told you we live in this realm of 11. I showed you how it's designed, how it looks. And everyone talks about these poles and electromagnetism and negative and positive. It's what I've been telling you. It's a Janus. It's, you know, the duality. And we talk about how we see in this realm and why we see differently. We see differently because we look through our own unique doors. Everything is a door. I am the door. I've showed you how the etymology of that so many times, and who's the god of doors. So when we are showing you that the visual light spectrum, so we see in wavelengths, don't we? They say it's red, green and blue. And I didn't put this bit in the video because it's not really a theory, it's just thinking out loud. And they say we primarily see in more blue at the minute, hence, you know, blue sky, etc., water and all that. But I have a thought, and people have talked about this a long time on YouTube, talking about how in their opinion, in one of the resets, the sky was red. So that got me thinking, we have red sky, blue, and did we have an event when it was green? Because that's what primarily they say we see it in those wavelengths. So that just got me thinking, are we in the blue era? We had the red era. Will we be going to the green era? And that got me to thinking, shit, what are they promoting now? Carbon neutral. We have to be green. It's an era. It's an eye. It's how we see. So we've had the red era with the plasma in the sky, the red canopy. We're in the blue era, the Lucifer era, the Janus era. Remember the great vowel shift. We're going and we're being forced into the green era. All to do with sight. So the spectrum, the visible spectrum, and this will change on the odd site you do it, but like I said, I've been honest and showed you that the one I found said the visible spectrum was 380. 3 at 8, 11. Wow. Then you look across and the spectrum goes to 740. 7 at 4. That's 11. Yeah, but it's just 11. If only someone did a topic showing you the significance of 11 and why it's significant. Oh yeah, there is. Do you know what I mean? So we're talking about the visual light spectrum. Here's the 11. Here's the 11. And people talk about how we see 11s a lot because we're in the realm of 11. But if only our field of view added to 11. Oh wait, it does. That's just a coincidence. Everything adds to 11. But it doesn't, but you know what I mean. How significant is that? The light spectrum that we see in 11. The field of view we see 11. And the orbit, which is obviously the sockets, the orbits, and the volume of the eye is 6.5. Which is, I'll wait, is 11. So you got three significant: the volume of the eye, the spectrum that we see, and the field of view that we see. All 11. The doorway, the Janus, the realm of 11. But something that's essential to see, vitamin A and the molecule Moloch, is something called 11 cis retinol. and it's essential to the view. It turns it into an electric impulse signal to the brain. It's how we see. Basically, we see what we see. For instance, phone, and that light goes in, it goes to the focal point and gets reversed. So we see it then upside down, and the electric impulses then from the cones and the rods get sent to the brain, which flips it. So, you know, we do see it in mirrors. And that is an 11, and it's essential. And I can tell you now, if anyone else put that out, it'd be, oh! And I'm glad that I have. I'm proud. It makes me very emotional because I can share it with you guys. I can share it with the people that's had me back. It showed me love and support beyond measure, and they've asked nothing but for me to, you know, be here. And that's humbling. That's a family, that's friends. And do you know what I mean? I actually did an old quote, and that's what reminded me of it yesterday. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I'm nearly to 1,000. It's significant for that. So it's just what the flock on Twitter, and I just want to get, you know, our voice out. So I did an old quote. You can just see it there. So I'm reading that out, and it basically says, "Friends are like bank balances. The amount goes up, or you're broke, meaning you don't got any. But true friends are interest free, and they cost nothing and will enrich your lives." And that to me is friends who don't ask for anything, but always there and supporting you. That's what you guys do for me. You're there when I need it, like I said, and you show the love. And I don't mean monetary wise. And it gets me emotional, and I do appreciate it. So thank you guys. So you can just see what the interaction means to me. And to have everything that we see tied to 11 can only mean one thing. I'm onto something in regard to this being the realm of 11. And if people are wondering what I'm going on about, just go down, just scroll, hit the video button or on the page, and it'll go down, or playlists. There's actually a playlist called the realm of 11. I think there is. I will just double check, because we all see it differently when we go to our YouTube channel. And there you go, there's my channel, as you can see, the playlist. So if you hit playlists on it, you have like videos, blah blah blah. You have For Flock's Sake, Ancient History, the realm of 11. So you can see, just see it there, the realm of 11, and there will be most of the videos should be in there, and that will basically show you what they are and the theory that I had. You look at the gematria, and Lucifer is 74, if you remember. 7 and 4 is 11, same as Janus is 65, 6 and 5 is 11. Just one of his epithets, as I put in the video. So that just blew me away. I was talking to Ryder from Raised by Giants last night, and he was going about how, you know, where I'm up to, and I just said, well, I'm up to 1 hour like 40 minutes, and I've not even done my thoughts yet. And it's going to be one of my longest ones yet. And I'm like, how, you know, when do we end it? Because sometimes you can go on too much. I can carry on 2-3 hours, but are you going to remember a lot of the points I've shown in the video? I know there's pause and you can go back, which a lot of you do. So, you know, we might have to do that. But that just blew me away, and Ryder was blown away, because obviously I've been telling him, what's the coincidence? We don't believe in coincidences, Paul. The volume of the eye is 11. The spectrum is 11. The field of view is 11. Something, the molecule essential for us to see. 11. The door. Janus his number. But that's just a coincidence, Paul, and you're way, way, way off, because what? Other channels have said this. Books have said this. Just all opinions. Everything is an opinion and perspective. And what is at the heart of the perspective and your opinions? Your eyes. It's the 11. That's why we see differently, because it's a door. Each of us have our own key to the door. That just blew me away. And then when we come to the Freemason symbol, that is one of the oldest symbols, and I've talked about it for so long because it has the two St. Johns, John the Evangelist and St. John the Baptist, and it's talked about how it's in regards to the solstice, and the solstices, etc., and the equinoxes are all for Janus, and that don't get talked about enough. And John is a derivative of Janus. So it's two Janus. Basically, Janus is there standing at the door, and it's a door, and it's a tunnel, it's a gateway, it's a rabbit hole. But you flip it, and it's your eyes. And I think I might have mentioned that one or twice in my videos, but not really thought much on it till now. It all makes sense. The secret symbol of the eye, and people will automatically get triggered and go, hidden eye symbolism, evil, evil, pitchforks, burning forks, witch hunt, witch hunt. And there was times in ancient Ireland where witches were called eye biters because people were going blind. And like with anything, people get triggered. It's an emotional response. It shows you that you're human. But it's down to indoctrination. We're told to believe that Lucifer is evil, yet it means light bearer, light bringer. Burr. And that's why I looked at that eye and saw it. It was, with the veins and in your eye, the eyes were getting held up and shown for us. Behold the eye. If only there was a secret society that used it, the symbol of the eye, in a way that was hidden and represented doorway, knowledge and light. Oh wait, they have, and I've showed it. But people get emotional response to evil eye symbolism. If I put my hand on my eye, oh, evil eye, evil eye. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of these things are not what people believe. That's just my opinion. Again, everything is an opinion, not to be taken as fact, because what is fact? Fact contains truths, but are not 100%. And truth, like I've always said, is personal to you. This is how you see, and the truth is you, which is another door. So you can see, and also it does look like horns. We're gonna have people screaming, "Oh, he's doing the horns!" Can crying out loud, people they need to get their heads from up their asses. It's just crazy how some people just get, really triggered. And I was thinking, people always showed that the Venus and the Earth doing its rotation around the sun, and look at the geometric patterns it makes, and it looks like a flower, and that flower represents the pentagram or the pentangle if you put a circle around it. And again, that's associated with evil. If you turn it upside down, it's a goat. And then you'll always see the goat Baphomet being used. And again, I'll keep telling people that is a modern rendition. The Baphomet that the Templars worshipped had 3 heads. Don't know who that is. You know what I mean? So that's just a modern rendition by the people, the Luciferian, to get an agenda to victimize a name. It's like, for instance, someone who is good and the media does the work and plagiarizes them and makes them out like they're evil. That's what I believe is happening here. They've made a word evil and they've hidden it in plain sight because it's essential to how we see this realm. The light spectrum, the field of view, the volume of the eye. And remember, when the eye changes shape, if it's lovely and circlish, in volume, the focus to your focal point, easy, it goes straight through to the back of the eyes, to the cones, to the focal points. And when your eye changes shape, basically, like me and everyone else who wears glasses or anything like that, basically the focal point, for instance, if that was the back of the eye, and that is a field of view, which, remember, the sigil of Lucifer is used. The field of view, normal vision, it connects and it's to your focal point, you see, great. And when your eye changes shape and it things get blurred in grainery, the focal point just moves slightly forward, changing your perspective. You know what I mean? So basically, that is it in basic terms for me. I have to make everything so basic for me. So we see it all in the 11s, and the pattern of Venus, the dawn star, which Lucifer is also named, especially in Roman era. And remember Hillel ben Shirah, and that's when it got mixed, and that Hillel ben Shirah was actually a Babylonian son of a king or king, if I remember. It's a long time since I actually looked at that name. But that's when it got changed to Vulgar Latin, it got changed to Lucifer, and that's the only time Lucifer is, and it appears in the Bible, was that mistranslation. Because obviously I've broken Lucifer down, and I originally did Luce, Luke, Lu, Cipher, meaning code and light. And if I only have carried on a little bit with that Lu bit, in Lu means in place of, so Lieu is Lu, but when you mirror it, it looks like a veil, but it's a Ueil, and that meant Oculus, the eye. So you can find all the eyes in Lucifer. I mean, we even look a bit like Sif. Obviously Viking is known as the Kingdred, or king was a woman. That meant to advise, and advise meant in to see. So every part of his name means eye, and to see, and light. And he's burning the eye up for us to see, to be able to see. So it's that process of seeing, hence why we are pupils and we are disciples. We are disciples of Lucifer, the light bearer, bringing the light, the frequency, the wavelength. That's just my own opinion. I don't see it as evil. But people need to know. And you'll see people talking up, dark is evil, dark is evil, light is good. Well, let me get a really, really bright torch and shine it in your eyes, see what damage you do. Because light can damage. Just like dark can, just like anything can. It's the intent behind it, the wavelength behind it. The wonder, your eyes wander. The wands, they're the wands. You have the scrying mirrors. I've talked about this. The iris is a scrying mirror. Help to foretell the future. It's all there. I've done them in so many videos, and I didn't put so many videos in it as well. And it just really has blown me away. We have a secret society symbol that is an eye. That just blew me away. We had the pattern of Venus, which looks like an eye associated then. So they're tagging everything that light made, and they're hiding it by making it occult and making everyone think that's an evil person or an evil entity. Just like, for instance, priests do know evil. Oh yeah, that's why the Kidley Fiddler's supreme. Just because what you see on the outside is supposedly good and godly does not make it good. We judge. And when you watch these other videos that I've made that include, I only put snippets in, we judge, don't we? We judge people. Don't judge a book by its cover, and we use our eyes. So eyes are the judge, jury, and executioner. And you're judging it with your irises, which is Siri backwards. I talked about these years ago. And then we talk about the main big thing. The eyes are the windows to the soul. That is a good saying. Now, is that derived from the verse in the Bible about the basically the eyes are the lamp of the body? So when the eye is good, your body's full of light, and when you're evil, your body's full of darkness. Which is intriguing. It's talking about the eye is a lamp, holding your eyes up. And if people have, I can't really bring my lamp across here, but you know, a table lamp. What does a table lamp do? Shines light, it burns light. It's beholding light. And that was like the verse. You know, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. That blew me away, that. You know, open thou mine eyes, that I may see, may behold. Behold, it's telling you. Open thy mine eyes, that I behold. Behold the eyes, holding the eyes up, wondrous things out of thy law. And I accidentally did that thing on Latin Converter, split the word up like I do, and it made the law. I know, like I said, I've been honest, I've tried it since, it's not worked. I don't know if it was a fluke, anomaly. Sometimes when we do these things they don't work, but I'm glad I recorded it so you could actually see it. And that doesn't mean it's proof, but it was just evidence for me, you know, because we see things differently. And when I found that and I heard that Bible verse, the eyes, the law, the eyes of the law, that's why they've covered Justice's eyes, because it's all got to do with the eyes. They're covering that. They've covered Justice's eyes, so Justice can't see the shit that they're getting away with, and it's up to us to pull this off her eyes so she can see. I mean, there's things I didn't put in the video because obviously I was mainly at Lucifer, but if you watch the Oculus video, Oculus Occultist, it talks about Ma'at, you know, obviously the scales of Ma'at and how it's like the field of view. But Ma'at's colour is blue also, and she has 42 laws. And remember the segment, it's in the video, but if not, you know the segment, if you can remember, you know the pineal gland or the eye of Wadjet or the eye of Horus, and it gives it fractions 1/6, 6/10, and it's all those numbers added to 42. And Ma'at is basically the judge. And do you remember, you know, your feather and your heart, and you weigh your scales, and scales, you know, it tells you if you're good or bad. That's why it's injustice. And the boys in blue, the police, are supposed to be in the law. What most of the badges have 5, so you can just see how the connection between Lucifer and Ma'at and all that, and the colour blue, Behel, bright light, white light, just blows me away, guys. And when we are looking at these things, I'm just giving you an opinion on what I see. It's not meant to be taken as fact. I mean, look at the old etymology of owl, O-U-L, and that's contained in Oculus. Wow. And when I broken down that Oculus, it was on about the owl, which could be the soul. Remember, it's S-O-U-L-E from Oculus, but also the etymology. And it could be the owl. Remember, owl nobis. The owl could be the soul or the light or the wisdom, and the world belongs to us. So they're telling you the world belongs to us, and the light and the soul. And that got me thinking of the papal bulls, where the Pope declared everything on this realm belongs to them, even our souls. The light, the white light, knowledge, wisdom, the hidden knowledge. And that's why everything gets labelled as devil worship when you start looking going against the narrative. And to me, when we're talking about the world belongs to us, defined from the word Oculus and its eye, and there was a secret society, and they basically said they hold the information, not even Freemasonry knew, and they infiltrated the Masons. And it's all about the eye, and they're showing you that. And then one of the rituals that got broken down from that cipher, the master wore you know, a medallion with a blue eye on, like the evil eye that's supposed to repel. And you look at old things like the Dante's Inferno, and Lucifer's made to be blue, and the fire in hell is blue. They're trying to show you that that calming colour is defined as evil, and hell, behel. It is just mind-blowing, because when we're looking and doing content like this, we're just giving our opinion on what we find. I mean, I've put like a couple of videos into this, showing you something about the eye that not many people have talked about. And Take the sigil of Lucifer, for instance. I didn't invent that. I didn't show you that first. But people don't correlate and don't take it any further. Sigil of Lucifer looks like the Google thing as well, blah blah, and all this. And oh, look at all this it looks like. And I've taken that further to show you how significant it is in regards to the 11s, in regards to the owls. I mean, the owls, vowels. Is there any link there that the owl contains the owl? The vowels, the vowel to L. The significant part of history that I've talked about. And again, how many people have you heard talking about the vowel shift, the vowel shift period, the reset, the greatest reset ever in the community? None, just me. Why is that? Because it's crap, it's bollocks, maybe. But why are people not looking at it and including it in the content and talking about resets? Because it's a significant part of history from the 11th to 12th century, all the way through to the 19th, and all the change, the realm we live in, the change of science that we use today. Everything was incorporated in this period. Why is that not getting looked at? It's dumbfounded. And it's why I got into the vowels a little bit. I mean, listen, I struggle with reading and interpreting words. That's why I break it down for myself to see what I can find a little bit different. That's why I revisited Lucifer again, to show you the Lu bit, the advisory bit, the Sif and all this. It's just blowing you away. Looked at old symbols that I've looked at forever, and it's all about the eye. And I'm just absolutely blown away by putting this together. It's making me look completely again at this realm for what it is and how it's changed. Again, like I was saying to you, we're in the blue era. Wrong. Era. We've had the red era, age, and we're trying to get moved into the green era. Now the retina is the law, and that ties in everything with the scales, the field of view. You can only show you so many things, and I believe I've nailed it. No, I'm not bigging myself up, but I believe I have. Because who's in charge of everything according to them from the papal bulls? The Vatican. But what's the Vatican's name? Oh, the Holy See. Emphasis on the eyes. Oh, but that means chair or seat. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's emphasis on the sea. Frequencies, currencies, wavelengths. And the Vatican's 100th birthday is it would be in 2029 when it officially got recognised and got its own state, blah blah blah, the Holy See, the Vatican. And the date was the 11th of Feb. And one of the top councils of the Vatican is called Vatican II, but labelled. But they're just coincidences. All coincidences, Paul. And obviously, people will then go to talking about the Vatican. Oh, they have a telescope called Lucifer. And that's been fact checked by people saying, oh, no. They do partly own it, but it was the scientists taking the name of the satellite and making it, I forgot, it's not an anagram, but you know what I mean, where they take their letters from it, I forgot what that term is, and it was Lucifer, but we've changed it to Lucy now. But still, you had it for a long time, you know what I mean, so there's no way of getting around it. They called it Lucifer, and it looked like two eyes. If you turn it upside down, it does look like an elephant also, but an owl also. So everything is emphasized on the eye. Beauty, judging, law, and I know we do learn with hearing, but a lot of people like myself are also visual. So you had that occult secret society. I mean, Oculus, occult, near enough same thing. Especially if you're dyslexic like me, I've read them at the same time as being both the same word. Hidden from view, and they're a secret society. Oh, come on, it doesn't take much to know that what they're trying to get at there. And then that old video were in the New York, the 11th state, and certain buildings were taken down in a ritual on a day that adds 2 by mythical airplanes that number not 11 in number. All these 11s, and I've done a video on that showing you the significance of that. So in that basically complex, they put up a path. It's called a pathway, but it's to subways and trains and shops and all this, and they call it the Oculus because it's a dove. Well, it looks like a Venus flytrap. Venus tied to Lucifer, but also it does look like wings, an angel coming down, and also an eye with eyelashes. And on a certain day that adds to 11, when something happened, the sun comes through, they open it up to illuminate people on the 11th. Coincidence? And it means eye. That just blown me away. And I think there's more now. I think there may be 12 terminals, but at the time, like I showed you, I did that video, there was only 11. I don't know how many there is now, but I saw it in the video. So you can see the significance of the 11. And they have to get it. And more and more people are looking at this now. So I get tagged a lot now when people see the 11s. Because it's important. And people, oh no, 33 is important. 33 is 3. 3 what? Yes, 3 11s. So even the 33 that people love to use is just a form of 11s. So, you know, obviously, that Oculus was one of the major things, and underneath the subway it had loads of eyes. There's a map, flat earth map with an eye in the middle. What can you say? Emphasis on the eye. I have to do that side as well because people go, oh no, he's just touching the left eye. He's a shill. For those people, research the 11s. It'll do you some good. So yeah, all that just blew me away, guys. And then when you think of Oculus, you then look into the domes. For instance, the Vatican has one, St. Paul's Cathedral has one, Washington DC has one, the Congress. So many buildings have these domes with circles in. Some of them are filled, but also the cupolas, they have statues or plinths or pillars, is classed as an Oculus too, which means to see. And there are eye, and they are in major cities. Again, showing you the world belongs to us, and we're building eyes to enlighten in all our major towns. I mean, what you do, guys, when you're getting all this? It just, I mean, you look, and I didn't really talk about it in the video, but I'll talk about it now. But we look at, and this could be in reference to the doors. Eyes are windows, but I refer to them as doors now. Same thing, they're openings. And when you're opening your eyes or shutting your eyes, it is that Masonic symbol that, looks like the Green Lantern symbol. Now, Janus has various names, but one of them is called Janus, and I have to really pronounce it, Patulius, or Patulicius, means the opener. Remember, Lucifer is just Janus. So the opener, open your eyes, is Janus Patulicius. Janus Clusius, the closer. Also, door, shut and open. So when he has names talking about opening and shutting, that. And don't forget, in between the two 11s that I've showed you many times, and even on the 11s there, the age lines, is a pineal. The occult name is Janus. That's a doorway, that's an eye, that's your third eye. And it's all Janus. It's all 11s. The pineal gland is 11 letters. Adds to 11 in gematria. Connected to supposedly how we see the light going through to the pineal gland, which is crystal. You know what I mean? So this video intrigued me. Really, really, really did. I mean, we're talking about, I showed you like Janus nose picture in it, and the Moloch, both mitres, you could say fish hats, but don't they look like owls? A horned owl, the Oculus, the owl, O-U-L. It's just crazy, and I'm just so proud that I've got you guys to watch my content. I mean, it's not like all the world is a stage, is it? I mean, we have a stage, contains AGE, age is an era, is time, but that's the etymology of age. Oh my god, wow. But when you have a stage, what else do you have? You have actors, which are agents, and you also have people viewing, who's watching, patrons, people buying tickets for this ride. Are they the L-shites? Or are we the extras? But, you know, so we have to look at a lot of things. I mean, I was even thinking of talking about the black sun, the sun wheel. For many years, people talk about what the sun wheel, the black sun is. It's your eyes. In my old videos, I've shown it. It's the eyes. And when you gain knowledge, when you get light, your eyes constrict. And the constriction is those veins. That's just my personal opinion. You know, and that's why I included left in here. You know what I mean? Even that thing now that is going around in Vegas, the sphere, they made one of them to look like an eye. And then building more and more of them. But I just hopefully appreciate that you guys can understand what I've done, because it's not the case of me just making a video. I've included bits and bits and bits, and hopefully it's smooth with some of the new stuff we've done, and it makes sense. I just wanted to show the significance of the eye from a different perspective that not many people have done, you know, because people look at it as a micro, world that we live in an eye. I believe it's a realm of 11, an enclosed system with the two poles which can make the electricity. I've done a significant, but I can see why people think it is an eye. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I've researched it and done videos on it. And we're always changing our viewpoint by information. But when you're finding out that everything, how we see, is that, you can only formulate that we are disciples, we are pupils. And how you see negates what happens out there. It's all tied to the Taurus field again, which is Janus. Why is people not researching this topic? Because it's so funny, because people know me for researching. I mean, you know, I've made so many other videos like this one, and I even get ignored on that. You know what I mean? I get people telling me what Janus is, and I'm like, I've done that years ago, and it's not being egotistical. It's like, because people just won't watch videos, and this is going to be hard because this is going to be over 2 hours long, so I do apologise, but if I had broken it down, it wouldn't have had the same feel. So eyes are the windows to the soul. You have the Egyptians putting the blue under the eyes, the Lapis lazuli, which is what was adorned by God on Lucifer, hence why he was seen as blue for hell. And that got me to thinking, you know, because they have the devil is red. And I must be on something with these eras and in time, because we have had the red, obviously, the canopy. I know all the channels have talked about this. And we're in the blue era, hence why they called it a blue marble. And yes, people, before they get snowflaker, I don't believe that. And then we're going to a green era, and different light has different meanings and different perspective and benefits. You know what I mean? So is this blue effect on us actually doing damage to us? I don't know. Is it making us more knowledgeable? You know, because of the light is white. Who knows? But I know I'm onto something, and the reason I call it, like I said, I call it disciples of Lucifer, is because I believe the light, the information, the knowledge, the binary, the ones and the zeros, which is, yes, 11, is Lucifer, which is Janus. So I could have called it the Janus disciples, but I don't think people, oh, the Janus video, you know what I mean? So it happens, and I'm just glad to have made this. It's something I've been working on for a while. I had my little accident down the stairs, which interrupted it, so it feels like I've not made a video in a long time, so that's why I'm back with this big beauty. And just think about it. Ask yourself, if you got triggered watching this, why did you get triggered when I said Lucifer? Why do you associate him with evil? Who told you he's evil? Oh, the Bible, but he only appears once, or if not in the Bible. It was a mistranslation. Oh yeah, but society, them, the cabal, evil, the El-shites. Like anything, how do we take something, you know, it's like, for instance, you don't get on with someone on social media and you're telling people, I don't like this, blah, 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 I don't like him. So you're tarring that name using a curse word. And then that gets put into print, into cursive, to writing, to spelling. And then that's there forever. And then people read that and they formulate their opinion. But we all get on and not get on with certain people. It's always done it in real life. And people tell you, oh, don't talk to him because, or she, because blah, blah, blah. And you get on really well with these people. Sometimes people just butt heads. And it's like this realm, we just see things differently. That's why we all get on with different people. And that's why I wanted to make this video, to show you the significance of the eye. Show it's not evil. It's about the intent, it's about the wand. Think about it. Zeus, another epithet of Janus, split people into two. Remember, we had two heads and he split us into two. I think, could it be something like this, a sense of the Cyclops was the whole, the one eye, the third eye, whatever, and he split humans into two eyes. And he then sent people, the soulmates, your soulmate, off to wander. Your eyes wander. And is that something in relation to that? Never to, again, be one, because you're always wondering. And these things just make you think. And that's all I ask in videos, make you think. And I know I've made a bloody good video. All the Oculus breakdown of the words, the owl or the light, the one the world belongs to us, and how that's correlated to the Oculus. Again, all the 11's there. But the eye bit, that blew me away. How many 11's in the eye do you need to see what this realm is? The realm of 11. So guys, hopefully it made sense and I've not waffled for too long. But again, hopefully it made some sense that I'm showing you the significance of eye without showing you. People think, oh well, the eye is this, it's evil eye, Wadjet, eye of Horus. I'm completely showing you something from my own perspective and trying not to use that. I'm trying to use my own stuff, you know what I mean, to make sense. I believe it has. I believe it's showing you the significance of the eye and something different that not many people have talked about. So again, thank you. I'll see you in. If we've not all fall asleep, by the way, can it? Let's do it like this. Hello, wake up. It's time. It's finishing. Let's pretend that we watched it all the way through. So I appreciate you guys. Have a laugh. Enjoy life. Always wear a smile. People who want to buy me coffee, the link is in the description. Please just head there, and it's easy to do it. If people can't, brilliant. Just like, share and subscribe. Tell people to watch this channel. Tell them there's a new perspective on Lucifer, from the breakdown to the owl, why deem an evil eye make the owl evil. I mean, we've even had it in Roman times, hit, nailed to a door. So it's all about perspective and the intent behind things, like I've said in everything. So like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the premiere. And if you're awake now, thank you. That's the end, I promise. Goodbye.